Sign up for the free WagerTalk text club to gain access to free plays and exclusive discounts. Just text WagerTalk to 33222 to sign up and get a $10 coupon to use on WagerTalk.com.
Welcome into First Pitch for September 9th. It's Thursday. We got 4 games on the card. Best bets at the end. I am Drew Martin, your host, joined by Marco D'Angelo and Dave Cokin of WagerTalk.com. Marco, we only get you one day a week, buddy. Always interested in your MLB advice. And I know you got plays up here for the NFL as well. So good day to check them out at WagerTalk.com. But without further ado, Marco, welcome into the show. Happy Thursday morning to you.
Hey, Drew, always love Thursday, and even more now because not only is it baseball on Thursdays, we've got Thursday night football. We've all been waiting for it. Yeah, sporting a little Tampa Bay love there. But even though football's here, that does not mean we're forgetting about baseball. There is still plenty of money to be made in baseball, and we've been just running so well. So knock on wood, Drew. Let's keep the baseball rolling along.
Absolutely, Marco. We're knocking on wood as we speak, and 45-24, guys. So he's not lying that it's going well on the diamond for a huge profit there. We also got Dave Cokin here, number 1 all-time winning percentage and profits in college football, 4-1 so far this year. Dave, welcome into the show.
Yeah, good start in college football. It's been an okay baseball season. I'm up about 175 net units overall in all sports in 2021, which is number 1 at WagerTalk, and 175 units that's a lot. Okay, so it's been a good 2021. I'm pretty pleased. And on my docket right now, I've got 6 college football games, all Saturday games. 2 of those are best bets. Two of them are also free plays. So if you go to my homepage at WagerTalk, wt.buzz/DC, you'll find those 2 free college selections there. I have a best bet in baseball tonight, which I'm actually going to talk about here in the show, so no need to buy that. I've got 2 NFL games up, including a 5% play. I very rarely go with 5% plays, but my winning percentage on 5% plays is extraordinary. So I'm obviously looking forward to the weekend. And let's go. That's enough of the commercial. Let's talk some baseball.
Absolutely, and shout out to the chat box, Buck in the house. We got the Gooch as well, Daniel, Abel, all you guys. Welcome in, Nathan Cantor. Sorry about the late start, guys, but you know what it does mean? A jam-packed show and a quick show. 4 games in under 20 minutes here. Minnesota and Cleveland up first. Dobenek just got scratched. James helping us out here behind the scenes. So it looks like Albert's going for Minnesota. Haven't done my research on him, Marco, but we get Quantrill going for the Indians. It was a -140 favorite, total of 9. Going to want to check WagerTalk odds screen, guys. But, Marco, I'll throw it over to you for this AL Central matchup.
Yeah, literally pitching change as we were going on air. So not much to say about with the Minnesota pitcher for me either. But I was looking at this game from the Cleveland side. You're talking about 2 teams heading in opposite directions right now, as Minnesota heads in here on a 4-game winning streak. In Cleveland, unfortunately, have lost 5 of their last 6, including 3 in a row. The big concern for Cleveland is, where did the offense go? Just 2 runs in their last 3 games. That is a big concern. They've got blanked the last 2 nights, 3-0. I am going to look at this one, and I'm going to go first 5 here. I like the pitching matchup with Quantrill on the mound for Cleveland. He has pitched well for them, and I am going to look for him to continue that. 11 home starts, Drew, an ERA of 2.49. And I'll give you a stat with Cleveland. It's 14-2 this season. If they're coming off scoring 1 run or less this season, 14-2 in their next game. Can tell you they were 14-1 heading into yesterday, because it applied to yesterday's game as well, and they did lose. So I'm not going to go full game with Cleveland, but I do like them first 5 here. I'll go ahead and take the shot. First 5 innings with the Indians.
Good stuff, Marco. And Dave, coming to you next, looking at the Wager Talk odds screen, it looks like Cleveland taking a little money up from minus 140, touching minus 145 now. But really, Dave, I don't see why. Dobnak was so terrible. I mean, his whip is absolutely awful. 1.74, doesn't miss bats. So we get Albers coming up from AAA. Heck, even if he's just, kind of league average, I don't see why the money would come in the Indians. But seeing, go ahead.
He's not league average. That's why he's been shuttled between AAA and the majors for basically the last few years. He's not very good. He actually had 2 decent outings, and then ran into the Tampa Bay offense in his last start, and that was real ugly. He gave up 4 homers, 9 runs altogether. Minnesota, offensively, it's not all that surprising that they've picked things up because they finally got Buxton back in the lineup. And he's clearly their most important guy. And the Twins obviously have been a disappointment this season, but it's not like this team is lacking talent. I think Minnesota's probably a better team than Cleveland, even though it hasn't shown in the standings this year. As for the Indians, Quantrill's a guy, and I've talked a lot about Cal Quantrill this season. I like him. I've been more of an on-Quantrill guy than anything else. Got out. I did not bet him in his last start, though. I didn't like the matchup. It was going against the Red Sox for the second straight time, and he was going into a park that didn't play well to his tendencies. And sure enough, that was his worst start in quite some time. He gave up 3 homers, got hit pretty hard. I think going back home, he should settle back in. I would expect the Indians to have the advantage here with Quantrill over Albers. I'm not willing to lay that kind of a price, so it's not a bet for me. We'll get to a game that is a bet for me shortly, but I would lean Cleveland in this game.
7:05 start. Kansas City Royals, Baltimore Orioles. Hernandez versus Means, the lefty going for the Orioles. Minus 115 now, so we're seeing the Royals taking some money. I agree with it, Dave. All-star break. He's been a great add to the rotation since then. Talking about the Kansas City starter here. Last 5 starts under a 1 whip. I'd look towards the Royals. What are you thinking of Camden Yards tonight?
Well, anybody who's followed me in baseball knows that pretty much every time Carlos Hernandez takes the mound, I bet the Royals first 5. And I did that again today. It's the only play I made in baseball today. There's so much to like about Carlos Hernandez. He's going to be a legit number 1 starter if he stays healthy. I mean, this guy, he throws 97 to 99 with the heat. He's got a good slider. If he gets a little deeper with his arsenal, he could be one of the best pitchers in the game. I mean, that's how electrifying his stuff is. And he's pitched extremely well. I don't see any reason that he doesn't continue to pitch well tonight against the Orioles. John Means on the mound for Baltimore, and Means had a great first half and then got hurt. He had a shoulder problem, and he was not the same pitcher coming back from the injured list. He seems to be rounding back into form. His last couple of starts have been encouraging, but Means has been a big home road split guy this year. His OPS on the road is under 600, which is pretty good. Okay, anything with a 5 or less in it, that's a good OPS. But at home for the season, and this even included some of his early starts, his OPS is over 800. That's not good. So you got a pitcher who's not very good at home, and a pitcher who's just dominating opposing lineups on an every start basis right now. I think the Royals should be favored in the first 5 in this game. So to me, plus 105 was an excellent value, and I went ahead and played the Royals first 5 in this game.
All right, good stuff, Dave. And Marco, coming to you next. The Royals starting pitcher advantage, heck, even a bullpen advantage here. I'm kind of surprised they're the underdog as well. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I can't disagree with anything Dave said about Hernandez for Kansas City. I will disagree a little bit on John Means. And yeah, the season-long numbers with him at home has been a problem, but I like what have you done for me lately? His last 2 home starts were good, and they were against 2 very good teams, good hitting teams, Tampa Bay and Atlanta. He went into the 7th inning against Tampa and held them to 2 runs. In the start before that, Atlanta, he went 6 innings, held them to 3 runs. It's been a season because of the injury. He missed a couple months, took a few starts to get into a groove. If you look at his last 4 starts And I'm big looking at strikeout to walk ratio, because if you are dealing it with the strikeouts and not giving up walks, to me, that means you've got command of all of your pitches. In his last 4 starts, a 22-4 strikeout to walk ratio. With that said, and agreeing with what Dave says about Hernandez for Kansas City, I'm going first 5 also. But I'm going under 4.5 runs first 5 innings for my play in this one. I expect both pitchers to give us a pitching duel there, and I'm going to take the under 4.5 runs. I think that's a soft number with the way Hernandez is pitching, and if I expect Means to do a good job, I love the under 4.5.
All right, low scoring first half.
I would agree with that, by the way. If I lose the Royals' first 5, logic dictates that it's an under. Because, there's no reason to think Hernandez is suddenly going to go bad. I mean, it can happen. He's a young pitcher, and young pitchers can fall off the table sometimes. But he's in great form, and Means, as Marco explained, has certainly seemed to have found his earlier season groove in his last few starts. So I can definitely see it. Logic suggesting that if you play Royals first 5 and under first 5, you probably should do no worse than split, and you might just pick up 2 winners.
Next game up, guys, 7:05 Eastern, MLB Network here, Marco. We get the Toronto Blue Jays, New York Yankees, kind of the primetime game. We get Barrios going for the Blue Jays, Cortez going for the Yankees. We're seeing the Yanks short favorites here, -115, home favorites, 8.5 being the total. Toronto, man, they're playing some good baseball here, Marco, winning 7 straight, 9-1 their last 10, making a run here in the AL East. You liking anything in Yankee Stadium tonight?
Yeah, well, let me tell you, how many times do you think you're going to hear this from the casual bettor as they're walking up to the window to make a bet tonight here in Las Vegas, saying, there's no way the Yankees get swept at home, especially a 4-game series? Ain't happening. Give me the Yankees. You know what, guys? How many times have we preached to you here on the show, as far as baseball goes, there's no sport that is more streaky than Major League Baseball. And right now, you could not have 2 trains that are heading in opposite directions as these 2 teams are right now. Toronto is on a major roll, and the Yankees are in free fall. Just when they had that big winning streak and everybody was penciling them back into the playoffs, the wheels have fallen off. I've got to go with Toronto in this one. It's simple. I'm not going to step in front of it. And Jose Barrios has pitched decent in his last 2 starts. He's allowed just 4 runs in his last 13 innings of work. And more importantly, like I said about Means in the last game, about an 18-0 strikeout to walk ratio on his recent starts. So I'll go ahead and take Toronto to get the unlikely sweep, as most people will think tonight here in Vegas.
Yeah, I could see that happening for sure. And Dave, what are you liking tonight in Yankee Stadium?
I think you might get a chance of a pitcher's duel here. Barrios has good stuff. He's not a pitcher I completely trust in big games, and this is a big game, but he's in pretty good form, and he's facing a Yankee lineup right now that the Yankees are a feast or famine lineup. They cannot manufacture runs. Last night, perfect example. I mean, Gardner, of all people, Gardner, I think, is the guy who sent one out for the Yankees to bring them back to a 3-3 tie, and then they fell back behind again and lost the game. Joey Gallo is really struggling, and he's a rally killer in the middle of that lineup right now. I do like Cortez, though. He's been solid for this team, and he's been very good at home. Better at home than Barrios is on the road. So I actually give a little bit of a pitching edge to the Yankees tonight. But it's not enough to offset the other edges that go on the Toronto side that took me out of the game. Because originally, had the Yankees won last night, had they come back and won that game last night, I probably would have played them tonight as very cheap chalk in the -115, -120 range, at least in the first 5. But they didn't. And I'm not going to try and get in the way of all that momentum. It's a freight train now for the Blue Jays. And we had the standings up there a couple of minutes ago. And if you look at the wild card, there you are. Look at the wild card, the loss column. The Yankees at 61, but Toronto's pulled even with Boston at 62. They've got those games in hand. They've got 4 games in hand on the Red Sox and a game in hand on the Yankees. And what do they have? 2 games in hand or 1 game in hand on the Yankees. So Toronto, they're in pretty good shape right now. And I'm not going against them. I don't think this is a spot to play on the Blue Jays, but I cannot possibly recommend playing against them either.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dave, in terms of, Cortez with the Yankees, 1.07 whip in his last, 48 innings as a starter. So he's pitched better baseball as well. Maybe a nod there towards the Yanks. We got 1 game left, guys. And Dave, coming back to you here, we get Washington and Atlanta in the NL East. Ynoa and Fetty going at it. We have a huge favorite here. That is the Atlanta Braves, minus 210, total of 9. Hey, it's a short Thursday night card. Had to throw one in here, Dave. You liking anything in the ATL?
No, not at the price. Braves should win, but I'm not a 220 guy. I guess you could take a shot on the runs line or maybe the first 5 runs line because you've got a better pitcher with Ynoa as opposed to Fetty. But I can't make a case for Washington. So it's the Braves or nothing for me. That's quick enough. I'll let Marco talk more about it because I think he has more of a declared opinion on this game.
Sure, absolutely, Dave. And, to Dave's point, being quick here, Marco, let's just transition into best bets because we're up against a time stop here. Why don't you lead us off with best bets?
Yeah, it is. And it is in this game. And as Dave said, I'm not a fan of laying 220. So we got to find a better way to do it. And that way to do it is first 5 innings. And I'm looking at laying a half a run with the Atlanta Braves. This is a huge pitching mismatch, in my opinion, as far as the first 5 inning goes. And when it comes to the Atlanta Braves, I don't want anything to do with the bullpen anyways. I know they made some changes to the bullpen, at the trade deadline and everything, but it's not a unit that I trust. So I'll look first 5, and I'll lay it with the Braves. You'll get this price down to 145, laying a half a run. I think they get to Fetty in this one and give up some runs. I'll take the Braves first 5. Best bet.
All right, good start to best bets there from Marco D'Angelo. Check him out, WagerTalk.com. Guys, my best bet, I'm heading to Yankee Stadium, primetime, MLB Network here. I like the hottest team in baseball right now, both record-wise, and they're 9-1 last 10. And weighted runs created plus the last week, 161. That's the hottest lineup in baseball. Jose Barrios on the hill. Last 2 starts, 18 strikeouts, 1.98 ERA. Also, top 5 lineup against lefties. They're getting one tonight in Yankee Stadium. I think the Blue Jays plus the 105. Short dogs here cash this ticket. So I'll take the small underdog with the Jays. Going to Dave Cokin up next. Finish us off with best bets, buddy.
Riding the Carlos Hernandez Express, Kansas City Royals first 5 plus 105 against the Orioles.
There we go. Quick best bets for you. In recap of the best bets, Blue Jays plus 105, Dave Cokin, Royals first 5 plus 105, and Marco D'Angelo, Braves first 5 minus that half a run, minus 145 in the ATL. So for Marco D'Angelo, Dave Cokin, I am Drew Martin. Guys, make sure to check out WagerTalk.com, the free live odds screen, NFL, college football, MLB, whatever sport you want. Great to check that out. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Please smash that like button on your way out. Best of luck with your bets until tomorrow.
Sign up for the free WagerTalk text club to gain access to free plays and exclusive discounts. Just text WagerTalk to 33222 to sign up and get a $10 coupon to use on WagerTalk.com.